And President Trump recently had an interview in the New York Times. Now, he talked about a lot of different things: healthcare, Sessions, Comey, Russia, and, you know, some other things. But what I wanted to focus on today is what he said about healthcare, because I think it's really interesting, considering how Trump care is now essentially dead in the water. It is a dead horse. Okay. Everybody else seems very, very interested in moving on, except for Donald Trump, who is more than prepared to continue beating that horse. And beat it he shall. In fact, after a meeting yesterday, Trump had said this about the healthcare plan. Let's watch.
I don't think we should leave town unless we have a health insurance plan, unless we can give our people great health care, because we're close. We're very close. The other night, I was very surprised when I heard a couple of my friends, they really were and are. They might not be very much longer, but that's okay. I think I have to get them back. That's right. I refuse. Well, no, you didn't go out there. This was the one we were worried about. You weren't there, but you're going to be. You're going to be there. Look, he wants to remain a senator, doesn't he? Okay. And I think the people of your state, which I know very well, I think they're going to appreciate what you hopefully will do.
Oh, man. Hey, we're not going to leave town until we get this health insurance thing. So we're going to be here for a while. Hey, you want to become a senator? You want to still be a senator? You want to still be a senator? Now, actually, I'm going to defend him a little bit on this one, because there's a lot of people out there saying, oh, my God, did you see Donald Trump threatened Dean Heller's job? Like, what is Donald Trump going to do to Dean Heller? He can't fire him. So what he could do, I guess he could say, well, I'm not going to support you for your reelection bid since you didn't support me. And that's certainly a possibility. But I actually think that actually wasn't intended as a threat. I know. I think Trump actually believes that people in Nevada want his healthcare plan. Like, I think that Donald Trump is so insulated and so stupid that he thinks, my healthcare plan was amazing. Why would you not want it? You know what? If you want to be a senator, if you want your people to vote for you again, because I won in the election bigly, let me tell you what, if it weren't for those illegals, I would have won the popular vote by 1 billion. Okay. But it's those damn illegals that voted for Hillary Clinton. So, you know, I'm the best, and I put out the best healthcare plan. And the people in your state, I know people from your state, Dean, they love my healthcare plan. They love me. So if you don't vote for my healthcare plan, if you don't support me, well, then your voters are not going to support you. You see, that whole, I'm tapping into Trump's brainwave, and it's making me somewhat dumber. So I need to stop doing that. But look, that's the way I believe he thinks. So now, at the same time, we know that he believes that everybody loved his healthcare plan. But in the real world, we know that everybody actually hated his healthcare plan. In fact, it's got like a 27% approval rating? So it's got some ridiculously low number. But Trump's not a smart person. He watches Fox News all day, and that's another thing. He's insulated from actual facts and reality. And Fox News is not going to say, well, Trump care is actually really, really incredibly unpopular with the American people. No, they're going to say Obamacare is a failure. It's failing. It's in a death spiral. You got to do something now to get rid of the Obamacare. That's all he's exposed to. So obviously, he's not going to think, you know, he's going to think that, no, my healthcare plan, Obamacare is failing. My healthcare plan is going to save it. It's going to save your health insurance. So we've got to vote for it. We have no choice. We have no choice. He thinks he's actually helping out. Now, I could be wrong, of course, but anyway, let's get to his interview, his actual interview in the New York Times. Now, on healthcare, he tells some of the different reporters here, he says, we are very close. It's a tough, you know, healthcare. Look, Hillary Clinton, he brings up Hillary, worked 8 years in the White House with her husband as president and having majorities and couldn't get it done. Smart people, tough people, couldn't get it done. Obama worked so hard, they had the 60 in the Senate, they had big majorities and had the White House. I mean, ended up giving away the state of Nebraska. Wait a minute. Whoa. So we jump from, it's Hillary couldn't get it done. even though she wasn't president. Okay, so Bill Clinton also couldn't get it done. That's a fair point, I guess. To Obama, who had 60, who had a supermajority, that was correct. To Nebraska. What Nebraska? What's going on here? What is he talking about Nebraska for? Well, it turns out one of the deals President Obama had to make in order to get health care passed was with Dean Heller of Nebraska, who was a centrist Democrat. I'm sorry, not Dean Heller. Ben Nelson. I'm getting people confused. Ben Nelson. Now, in order to get his vote, and Ben Nelson's a centrist Democrat, he made sure that the federal government for Nebraska paid 100% of the cost of the Medicaid expansion. Now, of course, other Republicans are like, oh my God, how dare you? Not only are you paying the federal government paying 100% of Medicaid expansion, the fact that we're expanding Medicaid in the first place, we hate that. We don't want Medicaid expanded to anybody at all. So that's what the whole Nebraska thing is. He continues. They own the state of Nebraska, right? Gave it away. Their best senator did one of the greatest deals in the history of politics. What happened to him? That's an interesting question. Now, Ben Nelson, he's not a senator anymore. Oh, he must have got defeated for the Cornhusker kickback, right? No, actually. And by the way, he was not the best senator. He didn't run for re-election in 2011. Why? Well, it's because he would rather go and work for K Street. And surprise, he works for K Street. He's now a lobbyist. He's actually the chief executive of the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. So he's making bank working for insurance companies. Anyway, Trump continues. He says, I think we're going to do okay. I think we're going to see. I mean, one of my ideas was repeal. Well, he certainly said that a lot. But I certainly would rather get repeal and replaced. Because the last thing I want to do is start working tomorrow morning on replace. And it is time, it is tough, it is a very narrow path, winding this way. What is he even talking about? I think the thing that's winding around is his brain. You think you have it, and then you lose 4 on the other side because you gave. It is a brutal process, and it was for Democrats in all fairness. All right, well, sure. At least he gives credit to the Democrats. Now, he says, man, this is such a tough thing, right? I fought and fought. The Democrats fought, and they actually got it done, but Hillary couldn't get it done. Well, that sounds a lot different than what he was saying on the campaign trail. In fact, he was saying, Obamacare, day one. I want a bill on my desk so I can sign it to repeal and replace Obamacare. Day one. Within the first 100 days, I'm going to repeal and replace Obamacare. Well, it didn't happen. Now, to be fair, campaign promises, a lot of them don't happen, obviously. But also, to be fair, Congress was currently working on it, and it's been working on it for quite a while. It just couldn't get around to it. Okay? Now, where was Trump during that time? Well, that's an interesting question. And it turns out that we know from internal White House sources, White House aides, and congressional aides, that they didn't want Donald Trump anywhere near the process. Why? Because he would fuck it up. Because he doesn't know what's in the bill. He doesn't know what's in healthcare. And he doesn't actually know that the healthcare bill put forward by the House GOP and the Senate GOP looked nothing like what he had promised during the election. And frankly, he doesn't really care all that much. This isn't a huge priority to him. Even though it was one of his big campaign promises, and even though he keeps trying to do it. Why? Because it's a win. And he wants to do a win. Now, again, they didn't want him messing up. So, hey, nobody knew healthcare would be so complicated, right? Now he continues. How long did it take to get Obamacare? And this was Trump, saying, how long did it take the Democrats to get Obamacare? Well, one of the reporters said, well, it was March 2010. So it took a while. He was there for more than a year, Trump said. Maggie Haberman responds, yeah, about 14 months. And I'm here less than 6 months, so, something to think about. And interestingly enough, now he's been going after the media, of course, for, everything. So I don't even have to point out any specifics. Everything, which includes healthcare. Now, Baker pointed out which was one of the reporters, we wrote the same stories, though, in August of 2009, Obama can't get it done. And Schmidt had said it died several times, followed by Haberman saying, yes, several times. Here's Trump's response. Well, it was a tough one. That was a very tough one. Okay. That was a tough one. Okay, so you're ignoring the fact that the articles that they were writing about Trump care, right? This recent health care bill were the same that they wrote about Obamacare back in 2009. It's dead. It's not coming back. It died several times. Now, Trump's complaining about all this negative media coverage when actually this is the same media coverage they gave to President Obama and the health care bill, Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act. Interesting. Now, he also said, nothing changes. Once you get something for pre-existing conditions, etc., etc. Once you get something, it's awfully tough to take it away. But wait, I thought your plan was going to be better. I thought your plan doesn't take away anything. That's really weird. So you are aware of some of the things that are in your healthcare bill. The fact that it takes away things like pre-existing conditions. In fact, he said, yeah, once you get something for pre-existing conditions, once you get something, it's awful tough to take it away. But if you have a better plan, then you could just say, I have a better plan for pre-existing conditions, and look, we have facts to prove it. Oh, but they don't have facts to prove it because it's worse for people with pre-existing conditions. That's funny. Now, Haberman comes back and says, that's been the thing for 4 years. When you win an entitlement, you can't take it back. Now, Trump said something very interesting after that. He said, but what it does, Maggie, it means it gets tougher and tougher to take away, of course, things like pre-existing conditions. As they get something, it gets tougher because politically, you can't give it away, so the pre-existing conditions are a tough deal. Because basically you're saying from the moment the insurance, you're 21 years old, you start working and you're paying $12 a year for insurance. Wait a minute here. $12 a year for insurance? Did he just say that you're working and you're paying $12 a year for insurance when you're 21 years old? Wait. I would love that insurance. Where do I sign up? $12 a year insurance. That is $1 a month. I'll take it. Where do I find that insurance? Where do I sign that up? No, turns out he knows nothing about how much insurance actually costs because he's rich. And not just because he's rich, because other people do it for him. He doesn't do anything for himself. Let me give you the true numbers on how much insurance costs. According to data from the Henry J. Kaiser Family Foundation and the Health Research and Education Trust, the average premium for a single person who gets health benefits from an employer last year was $536 a month. Now, he did say, oh, hey, man, you're working, right? You're 21 years old, you're working, and you only have to pay $12. $536, a little bit more than $12, but wait a minute. Employer-sponsored insurance, they do pay most of it. So how much do employees pay? Well, they pay about an average of 18% of the cost, while employers pick up the rest. That still averages to more than $1 a month. Now, prices are different in the market for people who do not get health benefits from work or from a government program, including those who purchase policies directly through a broker or a health insurance exchange. For consumers in this health insurance market, the average monthly unsubsidized premium, a mid-level silver plan, ranges from $364.91 for a 30-year-old to $872.01 for a 60-year-old, according to data compiled by Health Pocket. Okay. So his math is quite a bit off. Health insurance, it's expensive. Hey, who knew health insurance was so expensive? Now, he also adds, by the time you're 70, you get a nice plan. Well, what's that plan called? What's the plan that most 70-year-olds have? Oh, right. Medicare. You're right. It is a nice plan. Medicare is awesome. You know what would be great? If we expand that to everybody. That'd be awesome. Now, Haberman follows up with, am I wrong in thinking, I've talked to you a bunch of times about this over the last couple of years, but you were generally of the view that people should have health care, right? I mean, I think that you come at it from the view of, and he's like, yes, yes, and then it was garbled. Look, reading through this transcript, there's a lot of garbled and unintelligible. I'm just saying. But he continues. So I told him today, I guess referring to Republicans he met with, I don't want to do that. I want to either get it done or not get it done. That's curious. If we don't get it done, we're going to watch Obamacare go down the tubes and we'll blame the Democrats. And at some point, they're going to come and say, you've got to help us. Well, that's incredibly callous. But let me go back to that for a second. You either want to get it done or not get it done. Does he understand the things that are coming out of his mouth? Does he not get it? Does he not hear himself? Or maybe he does, and this is worse. He hears himself and he goes, nailed it. Oh, sad. Look, aside from the obvious misunderstanding, like he doesn't get any of this, as well as contradictions and the nonsensical answers, you see that he desperately does want to get a win on this issue, even though he didn't care about crafting the policy. See, but that goes to who Trump is. I don't care about the details. All I want to do is I just want to win. That's it. Well, that's true. I mean, and his, and it's funny is that if he gets a win, his core audience, the 27% of people who actually like this plan, they're going to cheer him on. They're going to love this. But most of the American people don't. Now, the thing about this is that he'll see this on Fox News if he gets a win and he's, I'm validated. I'm validated, right? And he'll continue to beat this dead horse until he either forgets about it or he actually, I don't know, gets something from it. We don't know what's going to happen. So what I'm trying to say is that while this version is dead, believe me, Trump is looking at how do we bring it back. I want to win on this issue. I want to win. Nobody else is concerned. What the Republicans are doing in the House is like, I don't know, all I want to do is just move on. Let's move on. We're not going to take it down Obamacare. We've tried so many times. We've got too many differences between the moderates and the Freedom Caucus. We can't get them together on this issue. You're not helping. You're not leading. So fuck it. We're going to table this, and we're going to go to where we all agree, cutting taxes on the rich, on corporations. That's what we really want to do. We want to cut corporate taxes. We didn't mean this whole repeal and replace. We don't really care. Not only that, but Obamacare is our healthcare plan. So it's working fine. So the thing is, while the Republican Party doesn't really care so much, I think, about this as compared to tax reform, Trump does. Because he's like, oh, I got to do something about Obamacare. I got to do something. Fox News keeps telling me Obamacare is a disaster. I got to do something. I got to repeal and replace. Or just repeal. Just get rid of it. So what he's going to keep doing is that, and you see it now, he's going to continue to beat that dead horse over and over again until he gets something he can bring home as a win. Because that's how Donald Trump operates. He's got to get the win because he ain't going home. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.